Didn't allow what could have happened to happen. You know, as a coach, you're concerned coming into a game like this. You know, as kids read, they follow the internet, they follow, you know, they follow the papers, and they evaluate teams sometimes by what they read, what they hear, what they're told. And this is a good team that we just played. I watched them play very well the other night. And I watched them try to do the same thing to us tonight. And I was glad that we were able to play with a lead. That's as well-coached a team as there is out there. They play extremely hard. So I'm really proud of our guys for giving UMBC the respect that I think their team deserves. I thought we came out, I thought we played hard. I thought for 3 quarters we ground out a win. We did the things we needed to do. I'm really disappointed in the 4th quarter. You know, when we had outground balled them in every quarter except for the 4th. It was 7-7. We had faced off 10 of 15 in the first 3 quarters, and then we were 1 of 7 in the 4th. We had forced them to fail clear at the bare minimum of 3 times in every quarter up until the 3rd quarter was over, and in the 4th quarter they cleared 2 of 2. So we got a lot of work to do in the 4th quarter. That being said, it'll be nice to be able to actually have a full week of practice again. We need it, you know, and we certainly need it when we're going to face a team like Syracuse. So happy with the win, pleased with the first 3 quarters, and think we got a lot of work to do to understand how to finish out a game.
Questions? Coach Patrick, how do you feel about the physicality level that your defense plays throughout the game?
Listen, lacrosse is a physical sport, and you know, we're in a time where there's a lot of talk of concussions. There's a lot of talk about hitting. So the officials are just trying to do the best job they can. And our sport, like football, it's a bang sport. So they're doing the best job they can. They're trying to make calls. I want our guys to be physical. I also want our guys to be clean. Make no mistake about that. We don't talk about being dirty. We don't talk about doing anything but being physical and playing a clean physical brand of lacrosse. And that's what we try to do. And you know, tonight we got called once or twice. Then obviously we have to be more disciplined, and we've got to do a better job picking and choosing our times.
Dave, talk about the first quarter. You're up 2-1. You played a real good game, but same quarter you opened up 4-1. Talk about your goals that opened up the halftime score of 6-2.
Yeah, you know, you walk out 2-1, and all I can think of is the game they just played. You know, the tempo is slow, and listen, I'm not going to stand here and say we should have a shot clock. They slowed it down too much. You do what you got to do to win. I don't care. So I thought we understood the plan they would probably have. We were prepared for that. We pressed a little bit more in the second half defensively, but you know, it's a situation where it's 2-1 and you're saying, well, they get one more. It's 2-2. But we felt like we were getting really good looks at the goal. I think Zach found Brandon inside one time and we just didn't cash in. We got another real good look. I think it might have been you that came around right-handed one time and we just missed. We felt like we were getting good looks, and I give the guys in the offensive end credit and Coach Benson credit for just staying with it. We didn't change, we didn't panic, and eventually it broke for us. We cashed in on 1 or 2, and when you're fighting to break that seal a little bit, when you get those next 2 or 3 to go, it loosens you up, and I thought we started to play a little bit looser.
Coach, can you comment on the goaltender play for both teams?
Yeah, you know, I thought their goalie played well. I think he's had a good year. I thought he was very good last Tuesday against a team from College Park. In terms of our guy, I think our guy's special. I think he's been outstanding for us for the last year and a half. You know, and everybody's going to look at, well, you know, 10 saves and you know, 5 goals, and a lot of times goals aren't a goalie's fault. And you know, when you got number 9 breathing down your throat, I'm not sure there's many guys I want like him on top of our goalie. So I've been really pleased with the job Pierce has done. I think he's done a really good job. Maybe most importantly, leading our defense, getting us in the right defenses, getting us in and out of things, and demanding the guys to meet the standard that we've tried to set.
Coach, can you talk about the connection that Brandon and Zach seem to have clicking at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think everybody at one point was worried that we had a thing against Canadians or something. We got two guys that we think are pretty good. I think Zach has really done a great job of doing what we've asked him to do, which is his job. Everybody thinks when Chris goes down and then Wells goes down that Zach has to really pick it up and do a lot more. It's not the case. What he has to do is to do his job to the best of his ability. And I think that's exactly what he's done. I think he's made really good decisions with the ball, hasn't turned it over a lot. I think he's been aggressive off the dodge. I think he's used both hands very well. And now when you add to the mix a guy who is slick off the ball, doesn't need to play with the ball in his stick, I think they've started to develop some really nice chemistry. I mean, when Chris was there and Wells was there, if you watch this in practice, it's actually kind of fun to watch the four of them in transition drills. They seem to really enjoy playing with each other. So this is something that's been developing, and I think the two of them have done a really good job. I think Brandon's filled his role very well. He's handled the ball really well on the perimeter. He's gotten us some really big goals, and I'm sure he would tell you as much as I would, we've probably missed some opportunities, and but the nice part is they continue to grow with each other. There seems to be a real nice chemistry with the two of them, and when Wells comes back and when Chris comes back, I think it'll be a nice boost to lighten, to make things a little bit easier on these two guys.
Zach, do you feel at ease in the absence of Chris and Wells?
Yeah, I mean, I know I had to step up a little bit. I'm going to have the ball on my stick a little more than usual, but it's nothing new. Still run the same plays. Everyone has a job to do, and it hasn't been a whole lot different. Just trying to be a bit more of a leader out there with Bogan.
Coach, in the scouting process for this game, can you describe what you saw out of Scott Jones and Zach Linkus coming into this game? What about the two of them you had to prepare for?
Well, I thought we did a great job on him for three quarters and a quarter, or half a quarter. I thought the last 6 minutes we got a little sloppy with him. Like these guys, you're talking about another guy from Canada who's got a tremendous skill set. He's got as good a hands as there is. The nice part is we get to see that a little bit in practice from Brandon in particular. But he just shoots the ball. He's such a dynamic shooter. He can let it go from 16, 17, so he can really stretch your defense. The meat of the game plan, to be quite honest with you, was to find 9. And if you got a chance to get up close and hear our goalie, you constantly heard him say, find 9, find 9, find 9. And I thought for 3 quarters and about 7 minutes, we found 9. And then I thought we got a little sloppy at the end. He's a talented kid. He's very talented, and I think they've done a good job. I think last year he played a little midfield, and then they moved him after our game. And I think he's found a home where he's pretty good.
Can you talk about the hat trick by Palmer and talk about the goals and performance in today's game?
Yeah, again, both these guys would tell you they benefit from the other guys. It's a 6-man unit. What I like about what Zach has done is he has become more of a leader. In Chris's absence, someone needs to do the job there, to get us in the right offenses, to kind of be a calming force when things are getting a little helter-skelter. I actually thought Zach made really good decisions tonight when to push the gas, and if anybody wants to say we play slow, all I had to do was watch us a little bit tonight. He made good decisions, so he's done a very good job. I'd have to go back and look at the film and again to tell you about all the goals. And Brandon, I think, has done a really nice job of making hay in the gray, so to speak, working off the ball. We've got some guys that need the ball in their stick. So you got to have a guy that doesn't have to have the ball in his stick. And Brandon's one of those guys that can do good things with it, but he can also do good things without it. And I think what's happening is we're seeing our offense evolve a little bit more. We don't feel like we have to do everything off the first dodge. And in our first 3 games, if you watch us, our middies felt like they had to make everything happen right off the first dodge. And we don't. We're letting the offense evolve and unfold more. We're dodging, moving it, getting more second dodges, getting more third dodges. There's more flow to the offense, and a big part of that has been both these guys, and Coach Benson's done a really good job with those guys.